Right, I'm bigger than this. It's alright. Just sit down. Just so you know. Right, here's a video just to explain. If you panic, you're gonna die quicker. Now, dying in this place is not a big deal, but you've been told it is. If you can get people to believe something, it manifests it. It's part of the, you'll have heard this, it's the self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay, right. So what happens is, noise, just like vibrations, right? If you find the right frequency, sound can shatter glass. Right, yeah? Sound waves travelled, picked up by the inner ear, that vibrates and transfers. Okay. It's a similar thing with your cells of your body, in the science that you've been told about. Right? Noise, and within society, the noise that's made by people. That's why one of the reasons, I'm not going to go into too many religious things, though in the Bible, and it says that the tongue starts the fire, right? And fire and people panic, right? And what happens is the stress and the panic cause stress, cause you to worry. War, this is why worry starts with war, right? About the phonics and the syllables, right? Casting spells, what's another video? Casting spells. But if you stress and panic about what you're told, about what somebody says, you'll die quicker. That's really simple. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a roll of bubble wrap, right? And when you stress, pop, 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 right? If you're quite comfortable and you don't stress and you're just quite relaxed, and you're not running around bumping into things, and you're not stressing, you're not going to pop too many bubbles. And your roll of bubble wrap's going to last for quite a long time, and it's going to be really comfy, and it's going to feel really nice, right? Yeah. Somebody makes some noise, starts scaring you, tells you to run away from this, and you run over that way, you bump into something because you weren't paying attention, right? You didn't really look around, you just reacted. That's why reactor, reaction, creation of energy. Okay, so you're going to bump into things and pop, pop, pop. You didn't really mean that to happen. Oh no. So you run into a different direction, stop from that, pop, pop, pop. And it's not until you sort of stop running about, stop panicking, stop listening to people quite as much, you're back into a sort of comfortable. Now that doesn't mean that you can't move. Of course you can move. You can move wherever you want. But you pay your own attention, right, to what you're doing and where you're going. You don't get scared. And a lot of this, with health warnings, and people get scared by what they hear about in the media, so they cover up, they don't go into places, and the tension, right? what it does is, instead of running around from left to right and bumping your bubble wrap up on the outside, right, the tension, right, starts popping your bubble wrap from the inside out. Now you can't see that quite as easy, right? But that's your cells corrupting due to stress. And that's what the umbrella of the word cancer, right? And the answer is within the word cancer, right? Because you see the lie, which is why C stands for Charlie, right? Char, the lie, right? Burn, the lie. And then you find the answer. So stress, and this is how people are sort of manipulated within society. I'm not going to when you add the I into news, right? It's an anagram of swine, right? And again, that's another thing. Can we, the demons say to Jesus, we're going to the pigs, pigs, swine. There's a lot of anagrams, which comes from Sumerian, right? The Sumerians. It's about the data, the information, the language, right? And how it's used for control. So what they try and do is try and pop your bubble wrap, whether it be from the outside, get you running around, bumping into things, stressing out, panicking, not thinking very much. Whether it be from the inside, with the tension and the stress, and when your heart's beating due to the stress and the pressure, right? Whether it be physical pressure, popping your bubble wrap in your cells, or emotional fire that melts you from the inside with your emotions. So I'm going to keep it as simple as that, really. Right? There's a lot of noise made, and in a place of information, noise, a lot of clues, right, that are put around within this place, right? It's a bit of a game, it's a bit of a mystery. You've got to figure it out. And once you figure it out, it's like if you're actually playing the game on your screen, on your console, and your character on the game is going to die, and you don't panic, you just have another go. It's not like what it's like here. They're not going to tell you that, otherwise you're not going to panic. And it's not as much fun for the people who think that they're real good players in controlling society. And anybody who's played Farmville or one of the other strategy-based games, it's a very similar sort of setup, and there is a code to it. And once you know, and you can see the code underneath the platform that we are, then you can see it. But for now, I'm going to keep it really simple. I can write out the codes, and it's all, there's a lot of anagrams, right? But when things start to calm down, there's a new disaster generated, right? Because it's an energy production place, and it's coins and things that you can't see that are there, but you can see them when you know that they're. It's a bit like the 3D glasses, right? If you put 3D glasses on, the 3D cinema, the screen, you can see things coming out because of the information that's within the screen interacting with the viewing wouldn't say appliance or whatever, but you know, the tool that you use to view. So it's translating the data that's there to understand something. When you don't know, you sort of are a bit uneasy about things. And when you're uneasy, it messes with your alternating current, with your energy, with your plus and your minus, with your God and your devil. Right? But when you know something about a situation, and you know how to interpret the data, and you can read, and you can see, you go, yeah. And then you have balance, and then there's less stress, there's less friction, there's less sparks that lead to fires. So it's learning to, first of all, not panic. Secondly, you look at the information. If somebody says something, whether it be individual that you pass in the street, or whether it be somebody at government who you perceive is in charge, right? In charge, remember, charging energy. Check out that information. If somebody says that something is, we'll find out for yourself. If somebody says that this information, well, to be honest, with the resources that we've got and the access to the internet, you can find out for yourself, right? Because a lot of the information that you're given, I'm not going to get into specifics, but I've done my own research, right? And I've been down these roads, and I know that a lot of the information that we're given is not A, accurate, and B, it doesn't relate to the thing that you think it relates to. Okay. Firstly, don't panic at the noise. If somebody shouts fire, well, unless you're on fire, don't panic. If you're on fire, stop, drop, and roll. Right? Or if you're on fire, grab a guitar and rock and roll. Yeah. This is why I'm here. We're all here and we've all got different pieces of information. And what you'll find is that when you hear something, it rings true. And it rings true because it was already in you, in your code, in you when you came here. And through your journey, in your relationship, in your relationship, you learn how to interact, right, with this place. The thing is, you fall into the pattern, the system, right, of routine. And when you talk about the root of all evil, right, or the root of corruption, it's falling too much into a root. Is it's a double echo. So this place is not all you've been sold, right? And if you can't read it yet, you will, because there's a lot of information that's going to come out. When you can see the past and you can read the future, you can turn it upside down and you can see the layers of it. There's more to come. And that's why I'm putting this message out here. It's not panic. Right? I'm a peacemaker. There are warmongers out there. And it's mode. It's code, but there's ways to work it out. This video is far longer than I thought it was going to be. Though I could sit and talk about this. I could usually stand actually, and talk about this all day. The main thing is finding out of all the information that's there in our existence, and the opposite is finding the information that is good for people's lives and will make a difference, and not just used just to input into the data stream to try and predict the future, which is this big machine. So there you go. Right, don't stress, don't panic.